Hi, everybody. Good afternoon to you. How are you? Hope you're having a lovely weekend. So, I was about to do something for my channel, do another react of sorts to Chantal, and I noticed that Neo Tarot had just put out another reading. This one doesn't have to do with Chantal. I mean, there are elements talking about her, but this one is more centered around Salah and from the angle of his mother. Now, as I understand it, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Salah's mother is with us anymore. But even if she's not, she can still speak spiritually to people that are doing tarot and all that and give the messages that way. So whether she's on the physical plane or not, she can still make her thoughts known to those who are sensitive enough, which I believe Neo Tarot to be very sensitive. So Neo Tarot did a reading, and I watched just a few minutes of it. I didn't watch it all. And then after a few minutes, I'm like, okay, we're going to stop. We're going to go into the reading pretty much fresh. Excuse me. Pardon me. And I got a feeling it's going to be a really, really great reading. Without even seeing it all, it's going to be a really great reading because it always is with Neo. She's a really great tarot reader on YouTube. She also does private readings for those who want private readings. And I'm going to leave a link down below in the video description for those who want to check out her channel. So, pardon me. Oh, goodness. The pollen in the air out here, it's getting in my throat. Pardon me, one moment. Ah, that's better. So sorry about that. It's a summer day. I live out in the middle of a big field, lots of pollen and foxtail grass and all that. So that might be affecting me a little bit. So apologies. Anyway, let me just go ahead and put on the reading from Neo Tarot and I will react to it. So 1 minute. Oh, okay. And we're back. So let's get started with this wonderful reading from Neo Tarot.
Am I zoomed all the way out? Yeah. And if you're always here, welcome back. Friend, don't forget to like, share, comment.
And this is something that Neo has done before. She did it with Foodie. Instead of reading directly on Chantal, she went through the mother energy. And I guess she's doing it now with Salah. So let's hear what Neo has to say and what the cards have to say today.
And subscribe. Okay, so let's get into it. As you guys know, with this reading, what you choose, it is simply a tarot card reading. Okay. So I've gotten the nudge a couple of times in the last, I want to say 48 hours to do this reading on the energy of his mother towards him. Okay,
Neo, are we linked somehow? Because I was thinking about going live and doing a tarot reading, and then you posted a reading. Girl, what is going on? I'm just wondering about that, but hey, I'm more than happy to listen to you first.
So let's get into it. Salah's mother has a message. Thank you. So what is mom? Thank you. What is mom's message to Salah? Okay. So the first things first, the spirit is acknowledging, she's acknowledging that there's a pot calling the kettle black, that there's hypocrisy in his energy. She's acknowledging projection, similarity, blame, introspection is needed. Hindsight is 2020. This is affecting the throat chakra. He is protected, but she's acknowledging that he has hypocrisy in his energetic field. Okay. This is something else we're not seeing. She's acknowledging that he's having these issues because he's trying to add a layer to the cake. He's trying to have accomplishment, triumph, self-esteem, confidence, talent, accolades, and fame. And I'm hearing he's seeking. And so because of this, seeking this energy, seeking this accolade, this fame, adding a layer to the cake, he is dealing with hypocrisy. He is dealing with blame. He is dealing with a need to have introspection. It feels like, take a closer look. What exactly are you doing this for and why? She's
okay. I'm sorry to stop you, Neo. I just wanted to give my thoughts on the adding another layer to the cake. Sometimes people are brought together, not so much to be in a romantic relationship. Sometimes the people that you meet in life, they are there to do something with you or help you accomplish something, or they might just be a life lesson you have to learn before whatever relationship you have with them dissolves, and then you both move on. So I don't know if Salah and Chantal are twin flames, soulmates. Generally, the feeling about soulmates, a lot of people think that soulmates are romantic, that soulmates mean something strictly romantic, like a lifelong partner. But there are all kinds of different twin flames and soul flames for different purposes. So maybe Salah and Chantal, their twin flame, kindred flame, whatever you want to call it, energy is, maybe they have the same kind of energy right now. And there's lessons to be learned from both. I think Chantal being around Salah, there are lessons for her to learn. And Salah being around Foodie, there are lessons for him to learn. But I think the big problem is neither one of them are seeing what the life lessons are and really taking a closer look and saying, this experience that I'm having right now, I don't want to have it again, ever. I think Chantal went through another life lesson moment with Natter. Like, she experienced some really negative things with Natter, but instead of learning the life lessons, here we are with Salah. And history is literally repeating itself. You know, she's doing the same things with a different person, with a different face, but having the same kind of experience. But going back to Salah for a minute, I think one of his biggest issues is that Spirit is telling me right now, he's trying to prove himself. You know, he's trying too hard to prove himself, to be independent, to, I guess, say to the family, look, I can do everything on my own. I'm accomplishing this on my own. But he's not really doing it on his own. He's trying to find a fast track to fame and success and money. So he thinks that the fast track is to find someone who has an online social media presence, who has followers, who's getting money, and kind of just leapfrog over to them and jump on their lily pad. And what would take him a great amount of time won't take that much time. But the problem with that kind of thinking is that if you are borrowing somebody else's hands for success, that means what they gave to you, they can also take away, versus doing things yourself. If you build something yourself, you can hold on to it and it belongs to you. By jumping over to another person and saying, can I borrow off your success? Can I borrow off your money? Can I borrow off your fame? Then it's always going to be compromised. It's not completely yours. You did not completely create it. What was given can be taken back. And if you're dealing with someone like Foodie Beauty, she is someone that she definitely subscribes to that feeling of what I gave you, I can take away. But here's something that Salah is not understanding. And this is another life lesson for him. By hooking up with the wrong people for the wrong reasons, especially someone like Foodie Beauty, Chantal, he will never be famous. And just as she will never be famous, they are both infamous. Famous is when you are something or you do something that people look up to and admire, and they say, I wish I had that life. I wish I lived that life. Nobody has that feeling with either of them. And even if they both physically split apart due to being around her so much and visibly in videos and on lives, they are forever linked. If somebody looks up his name online, they're going to find her. So it's already a done deal. His online media presence is forever ruined. That is the part of the price he has to pay for trying to fast track success in his life by just putting his hooks into somebody and sticking with it too long. And that might be part of the care package of the life lessons that he has to learn and some of the life lessons that she's ultimately going to have to learn.
He's also acknowledging that this is not a romance, that this is a bromance. Okay, there is water, which makes me feel like someone could be a water sign and or this is emotional. She's acknowledging that there's a lot of solar plexus in this energy, but this is mirroring. This is contract. This is twin flame. You have to learn a lesson and you have to move on. Spirit is also acknowledging that she's saying he's putting his boats into the water. Again, water. This is emotional and or could be a water sign. I'm also hearing travel, but she's acknowledging that he's putting his boats into the water, and like seeking fulfillment, seeking direction, seeking happiness, bliss, and money. And she's acknowledging that all of this kind of goes back to, it's a shame. Like there's a lot of hypocrisy in your choices right now. Not my business, not my problem. There's something else in the middle of the deck. Thank you, Spirit. She's acknowledging moving forward, there will be ups and downs. There will be mountains. This is the university of the universe. So buckle up.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing, not at you, Neo, just looking at the mountains, and all I can think about is Mount Everest and how much Chantal talks about wanting to climb Mount Everest, even though people who are fully fit, they wouldn't attempt to climb Mount Everest because it's a dangerous thing, but she's always talking about it. So that's just what kind of struck me with that card. I just kept thinking of Mount Everest.
Up and enjoy the ride. But it really boils down to your choices. Good choices equal good karma and bad choices equal bad karma. Okay, so what's the energy of his mother towards the energy that she has when we say Foodie Beauty? Okay, so his mother's energy around Foodie Beauty. What is it that you want me to share moving in? Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so she's acknowledging that this energy pounces. Okay, Spirit is screaming cats, and you guys have told me about cats and the connection to her with cats, but this is very emotional. So she pounces on energy unbeknownst to them because she feels like now is a time required and inspired action, and she wants to follow through because it has something to do with her heart chakra. She's also acknowledging that it's raining cats and dogs for her right now, and that there's an intensity, an intense energy coming her way. She needs to surrender, and this too shall pass. She needs to release and get this cleansing. There's a water sign, and or it could just be emotional for her, but it's raining cats and dogs because she has this fix into kind of pattern or agenda where like you pounce on someone, okay, and what you do in the dark comes in the light. Okay,
you know, we're not even halfway into the reading, Neo, and I'm seeing a lot of water here. Like you've got the storm, you've got the rain, you had the river. There's just all kinds of water all through this reading, and some of the readings that I've done on Chantal, a lot of water keeps coming up. Do I think that water represents her emotional side? Yeah, I think that it does, because it's very, very strong in all the readings.
What goes around comes around. Thank you, Spirit. And so now we're dealing subconsciously. She's acknowledging she's dealing with a storm. The storm is coming to put her in alignment. That's the hope. Now, you know, people have their own reactions to their own storm. Some people come out of their storm and they're like, cool, got through it, grew through it, learned something. And other people be like, what was that? That was nothing. Okay, not my business, not my problem. But Spirit is acknowledging it does affect the heart chakra. Okay, she needs to get in alignment. She's also acknowledging like the spiritual realm definitely works, okay, and they do what they need to do, and there's this energy of she's participating in this as well energetically on behalf of her child. Now it doesn't feel like this is like she's sending harm her way. That's not the energy, but this is energy of Spirit wanting to separate, okay, separate, get away. But anyway, Spirit is acknowledging strong momentum, sudden change, necessary shake-up, transformation, and hope. In the middle of the deck, she's acknowledging that Foodie Beauty has this energy of magic, okay, and I've said this before, catching lightning bugs, everyday magic. There's this wish and this hope and this dream. Spirit is also acknowledging that she wants to be famous. I don't know what it's about, but there's this energy of wanting to be famous, wanting to attract fame, wanting to attract the collective, wanting that energy. And we've talked about that before, that she kind of needs this validation to believe.
Yeah, and you know what, Neo, it's amazing. I'm a reactor to Foodie. You're not a reactor to Foodie. You don't watch her content, but my goodness, you nail her so well with all of your readings. You would swear that you were a reactor and you watched her, but you don't. You're on the money every single time. You're so on the money that you don't even leave change. You know, just, girl, you're on it today. I love it. I love it. You're so right. Chantal, she wants to be famous. She's always saying that she's a public personality. She's the queen of girl world. She's prettier than 90% of us. I mean, she wants to be somebody. She wants the accolades. She wants the applause. She wants the spotlight. And yet she really doesn't do anything special to get the things that she wants. Could she do things to maybe be famous? Perhaps. Although, as I said earlier, with everything she's done over the last 8 years, the image that people have of her is a direct result of all the content that she's done for 8 years, all the things she said, the evil, incorrigible things she said, the people that she's hurt. Like, she has built the most awful persona, public image of herself. She designed every ounce of it and put it out there for the sake of getting the negative attention that she loved and capitalizing on it, capitalizing on everything, any personal issues, any health issues, at the same time making her health worse. She built the image of herself, and she wants to stay in the public light, and she's always looking for the wrong things and the wrong people to validate her worth, looking towards men and their attention to validate her worth, looking towards her views and subs and money to validate her worth. I mean, just putting her worth everywhere than where it should be. And because she puts all of her worth in the wrong things, like, and Spirit is telling me this is the reason why she's insecure. This is the reason why she's jealous. I'm getting a picture now of a storage space. I don't know why I'm getting that. I'm getting a picture of U-Haul storage. Why is that coming up? I think it's coming up because, you're putting your validation away from yourself in other places. It's never inside of you where you can hold on to it and it's yours. And it's under your lock and key versus somebody else's lock and key. It's in somebody else's storage shed and they're holding it away from you. And you never have enough. Or if you need it, it's not where you can grab it. Maybe that's why I'm getting that picture. But just always searching for validation and basing her worth on how many views she gets, how many subs she has, how much money she's making. If she's not having a good month, then she emotionally, mentally, she crashes and she becomes grumpy and mean and nasty. And, it's a slippery slope, that tight wire of the things that don't matter, just trying to walk across it and get to the other side. It's a slippery slope. It's a tight wire that's thousands of feet in the air, like one wrong step and you can fall. Yeah. Again, there's a life lesson that might be learned there. Put your energy and your focus where it needs to be, in yourself. Do some self-care, do some self-reflection versus looking towards other people for your validation and your self-worth. I mean, that could be a lesson that she could learn from. It's going to be a hard lesson. Oh, is it going to be hard? But if you go through the lesson and you really absorb it, it can help you.
Boost pride and ego. Not my business. Spirit is acknowledging that this is communicated upon. And in the middle of the deck, she's acknowledging, like, I see it. I see it. I see you. Like, I see you very clearly. It's not, it's not a problem. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But she's like, not with mine. All right. So in regards to Salah and his romantic energy, what is his mother's energy around his romance or his relationship with Foodie Beauty? How does his mother feel? Thank you, Spirit. She's acknowledging that this got brouhaha written on it all day. And, it sounds very repetitive, but it's just going to keep coming out no matter how many readings I do. There's this energy of her playing with energy, putting manifestations out that require someone to come off of their righteous path and to stay onto hers. And the thing is, you get what you want in the forefront, but in the back end, it kicks your ass because you got to cash that check.
That's right. You know what? I'm sorry to stop you, Neo. I know I've said this pretty much the same thing in other reacts to Neo, and I'm sorry to keep repeating the same thing, you know, again, being repetitive. But as someone that, you know, I'm Wiccan, you know, like I don't do spells or rituals because I don't have to. I could, but I am Wiccan. I was initiated into a coven well over 20 years ago. And as someone that I understand the craft, someone that I understand spells and rituals and having a code of ethics, I'm just going to say it. And I'm saying it because I know that Chantal watches my videos. I know that she watches my reacts too, to Neo Tarot. And how do I know this? Because recently, Neo Tarot did a reading on Foodie, and one of the cards that came up was Cock Blocker. And the next thing you know, Chantal came up with a sock account called Cock Blocker. So I wonder where you got the inspiration for that, Chantal. I mean, you lie, but you also tell on yourself. And I love how you tell on yourself. It's almost like you want people to know it's you. You know, you want the validation of, I want them to know it's me. It's okay, though. Do what you got to do. But knowing that Chantal watches my reacts to Neo, I'm going to speak calmly. And I'm going to say it again. Chantal, as an ordained witch, okay, someone who is initiated into a coven, I'm not going to scream. I'm not going to use profanity. There's no need here. I can't stress to you enough why it's a bad idea to play around with things of which you have no knowledge. I can't stress to you enough how dangerous it is to dabble, which is exactly what you're doing. You're dabbling in things you do not have full knowledge of, nor do you have respect. Because whatever belief system that you believe in, whatever calls to someone spiritually, whatever it may be, if it's true to your heart, you're going to want to have respect for it. But going outside whatever faith you have and dabbling in other things of which you do not know, that is dangerous and it's stupid. And if you think you can play that wasn't me crap and go to other people to do spells and rituals for you, and you think that by physically removing yourself, you just give somebody your intention and you might pay them some money or you might ask them to do a favor for you, that by physically removing yourself, that removes you from whatever damage that might come as a result. I got news for you. No, it doesn't remove the damage. You are not out of the circle of damage just because you didn't do the spell or ritual. You were very much involved because it was your intention in the first place. It doesn't matter if you go to somebody on TikTok. It does not matter if you go to somebody on YouTube. If you have an intention and you approach another person and you say, can you do this ritual or spell for me? You pay someone, you ask someone, it is still your intention, and that still matters. It still matters. So if you think spiritually you can get away with saying wasn't me, and if something bad happens, it's going to fall strictly on those that did the spell or ritual for you, you got another thing coming. If you were the first link in the chain, you are very much involved. That's why I keep warning you. to stop what you're doing and stop trying to use the spiritual world to get what you want. Because A, you're not going to get it. And B, all you're doing is involving people in your mess that don't need to be involved. If you're doing spells or rituals to make Salah fall in love with you, well, all you're doing is creating negative energy. Very negative energy, because you're trying to circumvent somebody else's will with your will. And there's a saying in the craft for the Wiccans: harm none, do as you will. Trying to circumvent somebody else's will is harming somebody. You're taking their free will and their free choice away from them, or attempting to. There will be repercussions for that. It's okay to do a spell or ritual asking for love. If you say, I want love, well, love can take many forms. You can say, I want love, and the love that you're supposed to have, the love that's healthy for you, will come to you, but you can't put a name to it. Do you understand? You can't put a name to it. You cannot circumvent somebody else's will by using your will just because you want someone. You want them to be with you. You want their attention. You're forcing yourself on someone spiritually, and that's a big fucking no-no. Okay? So understand that doing a forced love spell on somebody is a big no-no. Second thing, if you're doing any kind of spells or asking anyone to do any kind of spells on anyone in girl world out of wrath and vengeance, that's more bad energy. I mean, do you feel how you feel right now? You feel weak, don't you? You feel in pain. You feel sick. I'm going to let you know, you're not just physically sick, Chantal, from all your health problems. You are spiritually sick. That's a whole different kind of sick. You are drained spiritually. You are empty inside. There's a reason why you feel hollow, because you are depleted on every level of yourself. And if you want to get those energy levels back up, you got to stop with the nonsense. Leave the spells and the rituals alone. Don't go to anybody to get something done for you. Don't do it yourself. Leave that alone. It's not for you. It's not. If those things were meant for you, really meant for you, it would be with you naturally and organically. You trying to force yourself onto somebody, you're going to force some vengeance on other people. No, mama, no. No. No, you've already got enough chaos and negativity in your life. Why would you invite more? You are inviting more by playing around with the brouhaha. Quit that. Quit it. Not because I'm going to do something to you. I'm not. But it's what you're doing to yourself. And you're involving other people. And you need to stop that too, honestly. You're not going to get the results you want. All you're doing is just making more chaos for yourself and anyone that you get involved in your mess. But you're not going to get powerful results. And ask yourself the question. If you have to go to other people and do love spells for you and Salah, is he really the one for you? If you have to go to that link to make him feel at least a little bit of something for you, is that real love? No, it's not, and never will be. And again, there are repercussions for doing things like that. The spiritual world does not take kindly to people who try to pimp it out. So leave it alone. Thank you.
And Spirit is coming for you. It's coming for you. Spirit is acknowledging that subconsciously he cries. Something about his heart in relationship to her. Silent cries. facing this moon, okay? Spirit is acknowledging, look at the moon. Moon, hidden enemies. This is a hidden enemy. This is failure. This is anxiety. This is stress. This is what you do in the dark comes to the light. Whatever you're trying to suppress is coming to the surface, okay? In the middle of the deck, she's acknowledging that this relationship needs a timeout. And if it hasn't had a timeout, it's coming. She's acknowledging it's coming, okay?
Good. And Spirit has been working a long time on separating Salah and Chantal. I mean, we've seen the signs. The Kuwaiti government, like a lot of things are changing over there. I honestly feel like this whole thing of her basically hiding out in Kuwait is coming to a close, y'all. Like the heat is getting more and more intense in the kitchen, so to speak. Like how much longer can she go on essentially hiding out in Kuwait? Hiding from her bankruptcies and her health problems, and then just trying to stay in Kuwait as long as possible. At this point, Chantal is not a tourist anymore. She's basically living there, and that's a big no-no. So, like, this whole thing needs to end for so many reasons. Reason one, because her and Salah really don't belong together. Reason two, because, you know, it's ruination for both of them. So why continue? But Chantal's a clingy person and she doesn't let go when she knows she needs to let go. And now she's trying to use the brouhaha, whatever form that is, whatever she subscribes to, trying to get her way. And she's just not getting it through her thick head that it's not working. Just let it go. Let it go and start again.
All right, Salah's mother. What is the message to Salah? Okay.
Hey.
Thank you, Spirit. She said, in your bag. Okay, I do see earth sign energy all throughout this. 32 is significant. 5 is significant. I see the color green being a nonconformist when it comes to your heart chakra. Also being a nonconformist when it comes to your money. Also just acknowledging that you need to get grounded. Absolutely. And then we see a tree. Trees remind me of ancestors. So this fits perfectly, right? Okay, so Spirit is acknowledging that there's a new job or a side hustle, a physical gift, a direct deposit hits. This card means that there's an opportunity to make money. The universe is dropping hints about where you thrive in money matters and where you can make the greatest return on your efforts. It's up to you to take the opportunity that presents themselves. And so
I'm sorry to stop you, Neo. Again, I hate doing that to people. But in your previous reading, Neo, you mentioned that Spirit was trying to speak to Foodie and tell her, look, you need to let go of this thing. And if you do, if you go back to Canada, there's another career waiting for you. So it seemed they both have the same opportunity. Their Spirit is trying to speak to both of them and say the same thing. At the moment you let go of each other, doors will open. And there will be other opportunities. You just have to let go of each other. Let go of this toxic, negative thing that is not working. The wheel is broken. It's no longer going to turn. So stop trying to put it on the cart and roll it down the road. You know, it's just the Spirit is saying, hey, life starts when this whole thing ends. But I wonder if they'll both listen.
So she's acknowledging like there's a real money tree. Like, I don't know how much he makes. I don't know. But she's acknowledging like there's abundance in a different area, in a different direction.
Oh, Lord, did he find another cash cow?
But it's up to him. It's his choice. And I tell you guys all the time, that's the most powerful tool that we have in our tool belt is choice. You know, and what people do with their choices is completely up to them.
Mm-hmm.
But she's trying to send him direction, like synchronicity. She's trying to drop signs like this way.
Yeah.
Come this way. All right. Salah's mother's message to him. Current energy. Oh, listen. This is such a sidebar comment. Hey, Rose. Like, I don't know why, but she was like, hey, Rose. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
Right. And look.
What's up, girl? What's up? I love you. And I love your readings.
Look at the cards. Rose, there's a message for you, but we'll do it later, okay? All right.
Uh-oh.
Hey.
I know. We'll do it later.
Girl, why you gotta do that to me? Why do you gotta? She got a message from me and said, we'll do it later. I'm like a little kid, like, what? Now you got me curious, but hey, Neo.
We'll do that later.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get into dangerous layer. And so Salah's mother's energy wants to let him know about a dangerous layer in reverse.
Ooh.
Red flags shouldn't be ignored. Don't be seduced into learning a lesson that will hurt your heart. Temptation and intrigue abound, but be careful because you can't win this particular challenge. Heed this gentle warning about wanting and longing and the fantasy of belonging to someone, something, or an identity that has no true substance or longevity. Ignore this alarm and you'll wander in circles near the edge of the dragon's lair. Choose another path, for your treasures lie elsewhere. First of all, she keeps saying get a righteous path. She keeps saying this is not the energy that you need to be playing with. Okay, mama knows best. She also keeps saying that your treasure lies elsewhere. And there's synchronicities, there's gems, there's all this kind of energy that's dropped. And it keeps coming because they want you to focus elsewhere. And so again, they're saying you're too close to the dragon's lair.
Yep. And you know what? Like I keep seeing this in my mind, Neo. Fool's gold. Salah is being fooled by and chasing the fool's gold when he should go after the real gold. But just, he saw the shiny fool's gold and go, "Ooh, I want that." And I think Chantal, she threw out the fool's gold and the promise of the real gold, or just making the fake gold look like the real thing. And he grabbed onto it because he just, like I said, he just wants to get up the ladder quickly. He wants that fame. He wants that fortune. He wants to be able to say, I'm doing it. I'm doing it myself. He's not a patient person, I don't think. Like the Spirit is saying, he's not patient. He's very impatient for some reason. And so he's looking for the fast track. He wants to prove himself to the family. I feel like that's a part of this, that he's wanting to prove himself to the family somehow. Like, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. And so he's just wanting to find the quick, easy path versus the harder path, that there's going to be a more solid outcome. But you got to be careful, with the people that you talk to and the path that you choose and who's walking with you, who's walking next to you. That can determine if not only you're going to be successful, which is one thing, but are you going to have troubles walking that path? Are there going to be troubles? Is there going to be a lot of turbulence? Is there going to be a lot of storms? And if you choose the wrong path, will you recognize it fast enough to say, "Oh, I shouldn't be walking this path. I think I need to get off this road and get on another one"? Salah has seen enough with Chantal these past 2 years. He's experienced plenty of storms, plenty of turbulence, and yet his pride, his Spirit keeps saying pride, his pride he's in his own way. Spirit is saying his pride is a problem, that his pride is definitely a problem. He wants to stick with it out of pride. Like, I got to do this out of my own pride. So he won't let this go. Just as Foodie will not let go of Salah out of her pride and her ego because she doesn't like to lose. So you mentioned the soul flames, twin flames. As I said earlier, soul flames, twin flames don't necessarily have to be romantic. Let me give you guys an example. Let's think about Robert Plant and Jimmy Page from the band Led Zeppelin. Okay, singer and guitar player that wrote songs together. You could have two people that are in a band that they're supposed to come together and write songs and do music that inspire many other musicians. that could be a different definition of a soul flame, twin flame, just two people coming together for a certain purpose to accomplish something. And however long the relationship will last depends on the purpose that they're supposed to come together for. So there's a whole lot of lessons I feel that the two of them could learn from each other. And if they chose to learn, then they could release each other and move on and be better people.
Now, what do the dragon do when you get too close?
Yep, burn you.
My business. Okay. I'm not even gonna say it.
I'm hearing this right now, Neo. Step into my parlor, said the spider to the fly. It just popped in my head. Step into my parlor, said the spider to the fly. And I feel that Chantal was the spider, just luring the flies into her web.
All right, so message to Salah from his mother. Thank you, Spirit. She's acknowledging the Four of Wands. She really wants him to be happy. She wants him to be joyous. She wants him to have a happy home. She wants him to have a happy family. This is in the area of business, but also in the area of finance.
By the way, Neil, I love that deck. I don't know what deck that is, but I like it.
There's this energy of wanting the best for him, wanting happiness, wanting celebration, wanting stability, wanting a wedding, wanting a deeper commitment. Okay. She wants all of these things for you. On the bottom of the deck, she even wants children for him. When I see hands like this, it makes me feel like children. She wants him to get grounded. She wants him to have opportunities in the palm of his hand. She wants him to enjoy life. She wants him to accept what the universe is trying to give him. They're trying to pour him out a blessing and hand him something that's deeply rooted. Okay. She wants him to have new beginnings filled with abundance. This is the message from her to him. In the middle of the deck, she's acknowledging that something is about to come to an end. I do see that. But more importantly, she's acknowledging with the Nine of Swords in reverse that life has become very stressful for him. Mm-hmm. There's an energy of despair and hopelessness. There's an energy of him feeling like depression or a panic attack. Again, the cycle is going to end, but not without pain. She's acknowledging that he does have some extreme anguish and despair.
You know, I would feel bad for Salah about that, but if you're someone you've been reacting to Chantal for as long as I have been following through with this whole thing, it's been 2 years. And Chantal, it doesn't take long for her to show her true colors and what she's about. So I want to feel bad for Salah, but at the same time, I can't, because he agreed to this thing between himself and Chantal. Whatever the reason was, whatever the amount was that she paid him, he decided to take that on. And she went over to Kuwait for 3 months. And he got a good, I want to say impression. That's not the right word. He got a taste of her, not literally, but just he talked to her. He spent time around her, got a good sense of who she was. Maybe not all the way, but just came to understand who she was. And she came back to Canada. And although I cannot confirm this, I think that the whole going over to Kuwait for 3 months thing, that was supposed to be a one-time thing. But then I feel like there was a renegotiation of contract. Like, let's keep this going. And he agreed to that. And it's been ongoing ever since. Do I think that Chantal perhaps has something on Salah? Yeah, I do. Because Chantal and Nader, they're two peas in a pod. They meet up with you. They figure you out. They size you up. If there's any kind of sensitive information, embarrassing information, maybe even information that might get you in trouble with the law, they will use it against you. They'll take that information that they know and stick it in their back pocket and hold on to it for later. And if you get into a fight or an argument with them, or you say, I want to end this, that's when they reach into that back pocket and say, oh, by the way, I have this ace and I'm going to play it right now. I'm going to go tell people this thing, or I'm going to go do this, and I'm going to embarrass you, or I'm going to hurt you or your family. That's what kind of person Chantal is. So I feel that's part of the reason why Salah is locked in place. He started this thing with Chantal and he got in deep. I don't feel sympathy for him. He could have cut it off way before now. He's had many different opportunities. Every time that she's come back home to Canada, the moment he dropped her off at the airport, he could have gone back to the house with some friends, packed that place up and the pets, and disappeared into the night. And yet he just doesn't do it. So he's had many opportunities of open windows and open doors to stop this thing. And yet, I don't know, is it pride? Is it greed? I don't know what it is, but he's keeping it going. And the longer it goes on, the less it makes sense. She's not happy. He's not happy. They're both miserable. They're both losing money, but yet they just won't let go. I don't know what's holding it together, but it's not love. That I do know. But I would feel bad for Salah, but you can't. When it comes to a romance scammer, you can't feel bad for somebody like that. So I don't feel bad for him, and I don't feel bad for her either.
What is her message to Foodie Beauty? What is Salah's mother's message to Foodie Beauty? With the Page of Swords, she's acknowledging that she sees that she's very enthusiastic about getting some information. She sees that she's looking into something. She feels that because of this information, she feels like she has a lot of information. Like there's a lot of light bulbs. Like she knows something. Like, I know what you know.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, Neil. I'm sorry to stop you so soon. That card right there. Do you know what I'm getting off of that? She's looking for something. For some reason, I think information on him. Looking for information on Salah. Like the kind of information she shouldn't know.
I know what you know. I know what you see in this book. Okay, of secrets. But she also sees that she is careless in her knowledge because she's walking this tightrope and she's not even paying
didn't I say that earlier with the tightrope? Yes, I did.
Attention. But she's also acknowledging like there's these little subtle messages as well, urging her to move forward, but with caution. Okay. There's this energy of her acknowledging that she's apprehensive and that she's creating a plan.
What?
But again, this plan, as she's moving forward, comes with conflict, and she needs to be cautious. I just keep feeling like
it sounds like she's up to some no good. That's what it sounds like to me, Neil. She's up to no good. She go into the kitchen and she's making them toxic chocolate chip cookies, and she's going to try to get Salah to eat them. Chantal, I'm telling you, stop this. Stop it. Stop trying to force people to be around you. Stop trying to force your will upon somebody. Listen, if it don't work, it don't work. If you go look at something and clearly it's not working on any level for any reason, the best thing you can do is to leave it alone. Just stop the bleeding. Just say this ain't working and walk away.
I see you. I see you. I see what you're doing. It's some sort of information that she's gathered in a book. Okay. She's also acknowledging with the Nine of Swords that she's running from something. Lots
Oh,
of air sign energy.
probably running from her bankruptcies and her debts.
Also acknowledging that she's trying to think ahead of something. She's very assertive in her pursuit of going after something that she wants. Again, this has to do with knowledge. There's some kind of information that she knows, and she is prepared to fight. She likes to have an aggressive stance. And the mother is acknowledging, like, yeah, I see you.
Mm.
I see you really focused on your goals.
All right, Neil. That card, the Knight of Swords. I can't really see it. Let me just blow it up real quick. Sorry. So, like, this is my impression of this card. You've got the Knight of Swords. What's funny is that the Knight of Swords has, it looks like a bow on their back, like they're hunting with a bow. Then you have the hawk above. So I keep feeling this hunter energy from the Knight of Swords. Like Foodie is the Knight of Swords. But the funny part is I don't see a sword in this card. It's just, it looks like a bow and arrow type situation. So Foodie acting as the hunter with this bow, and you've got the hawk above trying to fly away, going after the hawk to make sure it doesn't fly away, if that makes any sense.
But this person has a lot of drama. This is why they have this weapon on their back. As they're pursuing their goals, they also have to have protection. In the middle of the deck, she's acknowledging too, like, it's all a sacrifice. Everything you've done, everything you're doing is a sacrifice. And at the end of the day, you'll be left waiting. You'll be upside down. There will be no forward movement. She'll be able to look at her situation from a new perspective because she'll be on hold. Since energy of pause, it's almost like a forced waiting period. And Spirit is acknowledging surrender.
Spirit is telling me to say something, Neo, about you saying that Foodie, she has the mindset of, in order to have something, you have to sacrifice something. That's very powerful. Because that is true when it comes to Chantal. That is the way she thinks, that in order to have this, I have to sacrifice this. The content that she's doing on YouTube, she makes a little money, but the trade-off, the sacrifice, is her health. She makes money by drama and creating this negative energy, but part of the sacrifice for that is not having a good public image, which is damaging in a lot of ways. But I would like to say, because I know Chantal is going to watch this, pardon my language, y'all. Chantal, this is where you get it fucked up. This is where you're completely fucked up. If you do things the right way, you don't have to sacrifice anything, or not as much, or not to a severe degree to where it's damaging you and it's hurting you. I mean, there are small sacrifices in life. There are people that have to work hard to make a certain paycheck, to bring home the paycheck and take care of the family. And the small sacrifice is maybe they don't get to spend time with friends and family like they want to. But the reward of that hard work is they get to take care of their families. I mean, that is a understandable, unavoidable sacrifice. But you are in a position where you're on YouTube and you're making decent money. Unfortunately, the money that you make, you're spending it on the wrong people for the wrong things. But if you didn't spend it on the wrong people and the wrong things, you would not have to compromise your health and hurt your health so much. You're sacrificing your health for what? Does it make sense? No, it absolutely does not. Just as you going to the TikTok witches or whoever it is you're going to do spells and rituals, if you're not doing them yourself, you're going to different people to accomplish things, paying them money or not. Maybe they're doing it for free because you want certain things to happen and you want to make sure it happens. And what is the backlash on that? The spiritual world is going to spank you. I know you're probably laughing right now. Oh, spanking, hoo-hoo. It's not a good thing, mama. It's not. The backlash from doing that is going to be huge. You're already feeling the effects of it. I can watch your videos and I can tell you're dealing with some of the effects of it. But you're sacrificing that little bit of energy inside to do a spell, do a ritual, and you're not going to get the result you're looking for because your intentions are not good. Your energy is not good. Your intentions are wrathful, vengeful, forceful, against somebody's will. Doing magic against somebody's will is a big no-no. Big no-no. So you might want to stop that.
What's next for
I know you've watched these React videos, Chantal, and you've heard my warning. You heard it. You're ignoring it. I really do hope at some point you do listen. But if you don't listen, that's fine. I'm doing what Spirit is telling me to do and giving you the warning. If you choose not to heed it, if you choose to do whatever it is you're doing and you suffer the consequences of it, it wasn't because nobody warned you and nobody told you. You will not be able to claim ignorance of I didn't know, which is your forte. Somebody told you, somebody warned you, you chose to ignore the warning. That means the boomerang that's going to hit you on the back of your head, in a spiritual sense, it's going to hit even harder. Because you were told, and you were informed, and you chose to ignore.
Salah. Okay. Okay. There's a couple of things going on. Thank you, Spirit. There's this energy of being emotional around the energy of a Queen of Cups. This feels very like anxiety. This feels like depression. This feels like suspicion. And it also makes me feel like emotional distance. And this has to do with the Ten of Swords, becoming very emotional and even wanting to distancing yourself because of the Ten of Swords. Looks like someone is walking away.
Ooh.
And this is mental anguish. This is because there's something has ended. And so they have to walk away and accept the ending and allow themselves to kind of see that everything they experienced has served a purpose. But there's going to be this energy of a new beginning and something is coming to an end. And I think I've said that 3 times now.
Yeah,
something is coming to an end. There's also this energy of the Hierophant. So there is this energy of seeking higher knowledge, learning from, it could be an elder, could be a role model, could be a mentor, could be a therapist, could be someone in like the religious sector that's going to help him as he copes with this ending, as he moves forward. And so this is going to happen slowly because he's still kind of hesitant. There's a lot of self-doubt, okay? And this is not just self-doubt like the general sense of self-doubt. This is more so self-doubt in regards to a specific goal or situation that hasn't progressed the way that he had hoped, hence why he needs some assistance. There's delays in understanding. And I've said this before, that there's something going on, like there could be a cognitive disability. There's something here that makes it challenging for him to understand or completely fully comprehend. He needs to be patient as he moves, further, but he needs to kind of tune into this idea that someone needs to help him.
Yeah.
As he kind of like makes this decision.
Yeah. Again, Neil, I think a big part of his problem is pride. He's got that male pride. It's interesting that you're bringing up the card that you got the gentleman with the stick, and then you've got the lion, and it's inverted upside down. Lions have a pride. Like, lions are known as the king of the jungle, and yet it's inverted. So, like, your pride working against you, maybe, but whatever the case may be, like, he really needs to just reach across that abyss of his pride. Work your way across, and don't be afraid to say, "I need help." Like, you put the pride aside for a minute and say, "I need help. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm in a bad way. I'm in the weeds. Can someone please just give me a hand and help me out?" Like, he and Chantal are both very, very prideful. And yet, like, the line upside down, like, you want to be strong, you want to appear strong, but you're not strong. The lion, which is a symbol of strength, it's upside down. You appear strong, but you're not strong on the inside.
For himself. Like a better decision for himself. It's almost like someone needs to help him, like, really understand mentally what is happening. Like, this, yeah. See? Yeah, he needs to tap into his high priestess energy, tap into his intuition, really tap into that third eye and listen to his inner guide, his inner compass. And so this additional energy that's coming through is here to help, but he just has to get on board with it. Because
Neo, would you agree that I know that Chantal, like, her feelings, her thoughts, her mind, she is subscribed to her lower chakras, like that primal self. And she's cut herself off from the higher chakras, from, like, the higher self. Would you say that Salah is kind of doing the same thing, at least right now?
There is hesitation, there is delay.
I don't think he's cut off the way that Chantal is cut off. I think she's a more extreme case. But I think that, at least for the time being, she's kind of pulled him down a few notches and made him ignore his higher self. Just like put a buffer on it, put some earplugs in it. But she's definitely in her base primal self. She's very hedonistic, very much on her base feelings, cravings, impulses. And Salah maybe started out a little bit higher than her, and she's essentially just yanked him down as close to her level as possible.
Makes me feel like when someone is caught up in a cycle, especially a toxic relationship, and they know it is, but they've been in it so long and they've heard so many people talk so bad about it, they end up protecting their oppressor, for lack of better words. And it feels like that. It feels like he's getting something out of it, but there's also this energy of wanting to, like, prove people wrong just because he doesn't want to look as bad as it does, as he know it does, because he doesn't want to hear, like, I told you so. But there's something else going on in here in regards to his mental health. I'm sending him love and light. And like I always say, you guys, this reading is a legend and for entertainment purposes. Now we sit back and let the universe do what the universe does.
That's an excellent reading, Neo. Really enjoyed it. And you got me curious about what your spirit guides were saying about me. Well, you left me hanging, girl. What's up? Oh, you're keeping me on the edge of my seat now. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that wonderful reading from Neo Tarot. I'm going to leave a link down below in the video description to watch her original reading. Please give her a like, a thumbs up, and leave a comment for her. And I'm going to go ahead and post this to YouTube. And I hope you guys have a good one. And I'll see you on the flip side. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.